Trojan Philly, what's up, man? USCJ here. It's the top of the morning. I hope everybody is getting ready to get up, get out, and make some things happen this morning. Listen, USC football recruiting is not done yet. Listen, there were several emojis put up. You guys know there were about, 4 or 5 that were put up a few weeks back. And listen, USC still has outstanding receipts right now out in the field. And listen, I believe that USC is getting ready to have some of these commitments revealed. Listen, there's a big-time player coming up tomorrow, and we'll take a look at that information. He's going to announce his commitment as well. But there are going to be several, they call this commitment season, several commitments that are getting ready to come up. And so I want to take a look at some information, but I think this is real big for a guy like Juju Lewis. The fact that Corey Sims, big-time receiver, standing at 6'3", 205 pounds, committed to us yesterday. But let's get into this information real quick. Let's go. Also, real quick, before I put that information out, give you guys this information, I want to report this, and I'm saddened to hear this, and I actually heard about it Saturday night, but I didn't want to mention anything about it. But Philip Bell, you guys know he's a big-time recruit of the USC football Trojans. Listen, he lost his mom. You see her there, Miss Sammy, with the USC hat on. Listen, I'm sincere condolences to the family. It's not even about football at this point, but it's about someone that lost a loved one. And I just want to send my deepest condolences. And I'm going to put some information in there. Her husband put up some information as far as the GoFundMe. I'm going to put a link in my description. And all those who wish to support can actually support and help with the GoFundMe that they have. But Philip Bell did lose his mom Saturday. And my sincere condolences to that family. All right, so when we look at this recruiting class, you know, USC took a hit when we lost a couple of guys. However, you guys know that USC brought in a lot of players, and you see it there. Romero Ison, he's already committed to USC. Corey Sims, who just committed to us with the ball in his hand. Of course, you got McCutcheon, and then you got the other Andrew Marsh there as well. We're not sure what those two are going to do yet. However, there are some outstanding guys that are still out there that USC can absolutely get their hands on. And look, I think the fact that USC really brought in a lot of guys, they're not going to strike out on all these guys. We know what's factoring in. We're not going to keep bringing those things up. But USC has one of the top coaching staffs in the country. And one of the things that really stood out to me, just with the commitment from Corey Sims yesterday, was some of the comments that he made. Corey specifically stated yesterday, after the commitment, he said Lincoln Riley is one of the best coaches, and that's what made the big difference to me. And I think, it's really saying a whole lot, because I think a lot of people still recognize and realize the work that Lincoln Riley has done. You guys know, they told us in mathematics class when we had to work out a problem to show our work. Lincoln Riley has work to show. It's not like he's a coach that hasn't been successful. And as I stated before, you guys know Juju Lewis, I told you guys, he's part of the glue that keeps this class together. And I think even somebody like Juju Lewis, the fact that this guy, Corey Sims, made that commitment, I think that's saying a whole lot for what Juju Lewis is going to do. You guys can drop those comments. You guys can tell me what you think. But Lincoln Riley, as I stated, he does have work to show for. And you look at guys like Mario Cristobal. I mentioned this in my show over the weekend. Mario Cristobal went 5-7, 2022. In 2023, he went 7-6, and they're still landing commitments. So that should tell you a whole lot. But I think USC is going to get guys that absolutely want to be there. Of course, we have to do the other part as well. But I think USC, you look at guys like Corey Sims, this guy absolutely want to be there. And he is a monster on the field. And as I stated in the video, you're talking about a guy that's in between size-wise, like you got Jacoby Lane and you got Deuce Robinson, those big bodies. And then you got a guy like Zachariah Branch, Makai Lemon, of course, Xavier Jordan. You got guys that are smaller on the smaller size, Makai Lemon. And so he's in between. And so you talk about a 6'3", 205-pound frame. This is going to give Juju Lewis a big-time target. So I think this class is going to continue to move and groove. And I think USC will possibly get maybe one of those guys, man, Andrew Marsh or McCutcheon, both of those guys out of the state of Texas. So you guys can drop those comments. You guys can tell me what you think. But USC will continue to move and groove on the recruiting trail. On other recruiting notes, Marco Jones, big 6'5", 240-pound edge, out of the state of California. Look, man, he's set to make a commitment tomorrow. And so, look, it's out of Texas A&M, Texas, Michigan, and USC. And I'm hearing very, very good things. You guys been talking about the players from the state of California. I'm hearing good things about Marco Jones possibly making a commitment to the USC football Trojans. So, look, let's keep our fingers crossed as it relates to that, because we want to continue to move and groove on the recruiting front. We want to try to build this class up. And I'm going to tell you guys this, like I told other people on my show Saturday. Listen, USC there's a whole season in front of us. Listen, there's momentum going in all types of different directions right now, but I believe if USC absolutely goes out there and win, of course, that's going to be one component. That's going to be one aspect that if USC wins, we can get more momentum on our side, man. So you guys can drop those comments. You guys can tell me what you think. But Marco Jones, he will be a massive pickup for us for the USC football Trojans. And the fact that he doesn't even have Oregon in there, I think that's saying a whole lot as well. Oregon was on his radar before, and he was on Oregon's radar before. However, in the process of elimination, it's now down to USC, Texas, Texas A&M, and Michigan. So hit me in the comments. You guys can tell me what you think. Marco Jones tomorrow will be making his commitment. Also, you guys know Noah McHale. He made his announcement yesterday, and he announced Texas A&M was his choice. And I listened to some of the comments that he had to say. He talked about Texas A&M being the best fit for him. Now, here's the crazy thing, and I respect his decision. I'm gonna continue to follow his career. I actually messaged him and told him, look, congratulations, and I will continue to follow his career. But here's the thing with me as it relates to, and I stated this, you got to wonder, when you got coaches like D'Anton Lynn and you got coaches that actually change the defense, yes, they got a coach that came from Duke and he had success there. But just like we're not proving over here with our coaching staff, they're not proving over there with their coaching staff. And when you look at what Texas A&M's done in the past couple of years, the success rate, they had the number one class in 2022, which they had multiple 5 stars. Matter of fact, they had the best class ever in the history of college football. You guys remember what Nick Saban said? He's pretty much telling on Jimbo Fisher and talking about he basically paid for the whole class, and as a result, no success. The success rate was absolutely terrible. So you can have a lot of 5 stars on your team. You could buy a lot of 5 stars, but if you don't know how to coach them up, and that's the thing I think about with a school like Oregon, you can have all the 5 stars you want, but if you don't have the coaches, and this is why I know I'm very, very excited about our coaching staff. Yes, we want the 5 stars, but I'll take our coaching staff over anybody's right now. I'll take Eric Henderson. I'll take Doug Belk. I'll take Matt Inch. I'll take Sean Nua. I will take all of these guys right now. D'Anton Lynn, they have proven to be very, very good coaches. And even when Sean Nua was at Michigan, of course, you guys know Aiden Hutchinson, he sent him to the NFL. Sean Nua was doing his thing over at Michigan. He was doing pretty good over here with Thule as well. So listen, we got very, very qualified guys and guys that can absolutely move and groove. And I think that, a lot of people are getting caught up in all of what's going on in recruiting, but we've seen this before. As I stated, we've seen what Texas A&M did with a bunch of 5 stars. Walter Nolan, all those guys are now, I think he's over at Ole Miss now. All those guys, that whole class is like pretty much broken up now. You can pay for it, but you got to coach them. And so, yes, we need to add that component. We need to really add it and make sure we implement it the right way and don't get lost in the sauce. But at the same time, it has to be a balance all the way across the board. So you guys can drop those comments, man. You guys can tell me what you think. And this just kind of goes along with my point. You look at Jimbo Fisher's 2020. You look, he went 9-1. And then in 2021, you see he went 8-4. And then 2022, terrible season, 5-7. And the year after that, this was the year that they had that class, the 2022 class. But they came in 2023, and he went 7-6 that year. So look, man, I mean, you gotta ask yourself. I wonder. Well, not really wonder. I know why, But it's like, okay, they got the finances, they got the resources, and it's the same thing with Miami. And they can have these terrible records. Like I said, Miami went 5-7 and then 7-6 last year. But, they're getting all these players. And by the way, Hilton Stubbs, I did see some comments on him. He had a very interesting comment as it relates to, he's down to Florida and Miami. And apparently he made a statement, and I don't want to dwell on this too much, but he made a statement which I thought was very, very weird. Hilton Stubbs said taxes. And this was something that somebody actually brought up to me in a conversation a couple of times. A couple of people been making comments about it, but he brought up taxes. So I'm gonna leave that right there. You know what that has to do with. You know that Florida doesn't offer, have taxes, but I'm not gonna get into that. I'm not gonna try to help anybody. But hey, it is what it is. You guys can drop those comments. That's all I got for you today, man. I'm out of here. Until later on, everybody stay blessed. Don't forget, make sure you get up, get out, and make some things happen. Until later on, fight on, fight on, fight on.